Hey guys, how's it going? I'm glad that you were able to spend part of your day listening to me ramble on about iPhones. So, this is my iPhone SE. As you can see, I'm showing you my gold housing right here. I bought it for $10 off eBay. A very good deal, no scratches or anything, just needed to buy a SIM card. And here is the iPhone SE that we'll be using as the donor phone. And I bought this for $60 on eBay. It's 16 gigabytes and it is Verizon. So I'm going to start by powering it off here. And we will get started by removing the pentalobe screws on the bottom. Again, these are just two pentalobe screws. Just keep them in a good place because they're kind of essential to hold your phone together. As you can see here, we are removing the screen with a suction cup. And you just want to be gentle when you open a 5S or an SE because they both have that little Touch ID ribbon cable that connects them. And if you just rip it open, it might break because sometimes they have a little bracket that goes over them, but I've removed it before because I don't think it's very essential and it's just a pain in the butt to get on and off. And you can almost break the ribbon cable just trying to take it off. So you want to keep the screws separate when you take off the shield right here that holds all your ribbon cables on. Remember, the top right screw is not magnetic, and if you put a magnetic one there, it will ruin the compass interference. So, remove the screen, and we will start down here in the dock connector. What I like to do is just take off the top screws and keep them in order, and then there's also two screws on the bottom there that hold the actual charging port in, and you just want to remove those. And then we will come over and we will remove the speaker just like that. And now we will disconnect the whole dock connector right there. And also this little antenna cable, and make sure you keep track of that piece of foam that's on there and just be very gentle with this because they can be very temperamental. And if you bend one, you're gonna struggle a lot to get it back on. So as you can see here, this dock connector ribbon cable is just glued on, and you just want to slowly pull it up just to be very gentle with it so you do not rip it. As you can see, some of the gold's coming off the back, and that's not very important, so just take your time and be careful and it should all go well. So as you can see here, on the 5S models and the SE and basically all the 5 models, it's like a puzzle in the bottom. All these cables and everything hold the dock connector together. So once you get the dock connector out, we're going to work on the battery, and I suggest cutting it in half just like this, like I am with these scissors, and that way you're not trying to pull two at once. Alright, I'm back. I thought you guys would just want to enjoy that nice noise that those Apple stickers make as you peel them off from the back of the battery. And also, they came off with no hitch, probably because this phone's newer. So that was very nice that they didn't break. Otherwise, you have to resort to prying a battery out, and that will ruin your battery. So, what we're working on up here is now the camera. And as you can see, it's just connected right there where all the screen ports were connected. And it just comes right out once you pull off that guy. So now you have these posts that go along the logic board right here. And remember, the top right one is not magnetic, and there's 4 of them. So once you get those removed, you're going to remove the speaker or the button ribbon cable right there. And then there's also one little pesky antenna cable on the bottom that you're going to make sure you do not rip the logic board out and break. So as you can see here, we're pulling off the vibrator motor, and it had a screw that was just in there, and that was it for that phone. And now we will start the reinstallation process. So once again, we're just going to start with putting the vibrator motor in. And as you can see here, I struggled a lot getting that screw in, but once I got it in, all was well. So here is the little grounding clip that grounds the vibrator motor. You want to make sure that goes on, otherwise it will not work properly. As you can see, it is in properly. Now we'll replace this little bracket because it came broken on this housing. So I replaced that, and now we are putting the logic board back on. And as you can see, I'm trying to clip on a pesky little connector, which took a little while, but no big deal. So once you get the logic board back in, you're just going to want to put these little guys back in, and they can be very difficult sometimes to get back in, but once you get them started, they're a piece of cake. So now we will put the screws back in that hold everything together, and just make sure that you get all the screws in the same spot, otherwise you could damage your logic board. So as you can see, we're putting the dock connector back in. Basically, don't forget about this little bracket. It will not work properly if you do not get it in, and it could take some time. It's kind of finicky trying to get everything to slide in right, but just take some time and you will get it right. So as you can see here, the speaker needs to be kind of slid in. It's very difficult, but as you can see here, you just kind of have to wiggle everything around and it will soon come all where it needs to be. So we're just going to do the exact opposite what we did earlier. We're putting the 2 screws in that hold the plug-in port in, and now we will start in the left side and we will put just each screw in the same order that we took them off, so that way we know that they are all in the right spot. We'll have the right, no magnetic interference, and all will be well. Alright, so you just want to clip this little guy back on, and also there's a little piece of foam that I will put back on right here. You just want to make sure that is on there correctly, that way it grounds properly, or it doesn't ground out. Then you want to connect your dock connector back right there to stick the sticker down, and now we will get the volume buttons and make sure the camera's down. And now we will want to apply the new sticker adhesive, and this is the same old battery that was on there because it worked great and I did not have to pry it out, so it worked great. And again, these stickers were just something from a battery that I bought in the past. So you're gonna hook up the screen, test it. Once you know it's good, then you will put this cover back over. And I know I sound like a broken record, but just make sure that top right screw is not magnetic when you put it in, otherwise your compass will not work. As you see here, we're putting on the battery cover, and this will just prevent that dock connector in the battery from popping up. And as soon as you get that, you want to connect that Touch ID little ribbon cable again, which is kind of difficult, as you can see I just did there. And now the phone should snap together. You just want to slide the top in and then press around the edges and just make sure that it's sitting flush so you don't crack the screen. Put the 2 pentalobe screws back in the bottom, and now we will fire it right up. Alright, as you can see here, it turns on, and now we will put the new glass on the back. This originally had white glass, as I just showed, and it leaves this glue behind, and you're just going to want to scrape that off and make sure you get it all off. That way you can make a good connection and you won't have any bulges or anything like that with your new glass. So once you get that cleaned off, we will put on the new glass, and I bought this on eBay for I believe $6, and just make sure it sits flush. Then you just want to stick up the top too. Sometimes it can be a little tricky to get that backing off, but just stick to it and you'll be able to get it. And as you can see here, it is a completely finished custom iPhone SE with a black screen and black glass on the back, and I think it looks very good. If you guys want to do this yourself, just comment and I'll put any of the links that you need. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.